Hey y'all, this is Old Paths with Backpacking Florida, and today I'm at the Richloam Firetower Trailhead and setting out to do the Richloam Firetower Loop. So why don't you join me? Hi folks, as you can see I'm here at the trailhead of the Richloam Firetower Loop, and I've got the fire tower behind me. You've seen some still shots there of the trailhead where they've got some history of the trails, the old trail in this area, as well as they've got some maps and a log that you can sign in on as if you're going out overnight, and how many's in your party, whatnot. And then also they've got some maps here of the forestry here in Richloam. And right across the road here, folks, they've got a historic general store, so that might be a opportunity for somebody to resupply if they're out here. So just something to think about. Walking back from the fire tower, here's the trailhead of the area, and then the map, the rules state that you can park anywhere out here along the trailhead area, just as long as you don't block the drive, and they're not responsible for stolen articles out of the vehicle or whatever. So I've removed everything of value out of my vehicle, and I'm parked here at the trailhead. So all right, so getting ready to throw on the pack, and let's hit the trail. One thing worthy of mention is that they have potable water here at the Richloam Firetower Trailhead. All right, y'all, let's take a look at gut hooks here. The PE is the parking area at the trailhead for the Richloam Loop Fire Tower. And we're gonna head west to a split in the trail. It goes off in the woods, and we're gonna head south. And what that does is that runs into the Florida Trail, running southbound. And we're gonna follow it down until we reach the South Camp. And that's where we're staying for the night. So 4.1 miles to South Camp. And that's it for tonight. All right, so we're standing here at the start of the loop and just exited the road, the pavement, and hitting the woods right now, heading out into the pines, following the blue blazes. All right, so today, folks, I was fortunate enough to have a Friday off work, so I've got a 3-day weekend. I'd only planned on coming out here late tonight and hiking into the campsite in the dark. Now we've got a 4.1 mile hike, very short hike from the fire tower into the South Camp. And I was fortunate enough to get the day off work, so I was able to come out here early and get a little jump and be able to get some footage of the trail for y'all. So 4.1 miles to camp, and I'm down to 3.8 to go now, so just getting warmed up and stretched. This is typical of what you sometimes see, especially down south on some of the Florida trails. A lot of the palmetto bushes and a lot of the ground scrub foliage, pretty thick, and we've got a lot of pine trees in here, and you can see they've done a prescribed controlled burn in here to cut down on some of the ground foliage, as forest fires are an issue from time to time down here in Florida. Guys, all right, y'all, just a little bit about myself. My name is Quentin, and I go by Old Paths, and that's after Jeremiah chapter 6 verses 16. It says, "Stand ye in the way and see, and ask for the old paths where are the good ways and walk therein. And I am a born-again Christian, and so I hope my YouTube channel can be something that families can go to with some comfort, knowing you're not going to hear swearing or profanities. And if you've got a passion for backpacking and hiking in the outdoors and God's creation, this is the place for you. This is only my second video I'm putting up on the channel. I'm just getting started on this channel. And I'd like to welcome anybody that's viewing the videos or subscribing. If you haven't hit subscribe, please do that. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to cover a lot of the Florida trails down here in Florida, including the Florida Trail, as I'm going to section hike that. So I don't get the time to get out and do the entire thing as a through hike, but I do plan on doing that as a section hike, so hitting it on the weekends. Mosquito. So I do have hopes, folks, that perhaps in 2020 I can backpack the Appalachian as a through hike. Like I said, I am a business owner, and there's some things I'm going to have to get in order. I need to make sure that my family's provided for, my bills are taken care of, and get those things lined up before I get out on the trail. But I have hopes that maybe in 2020 I can through hike the Appalachian. So every hike that I do down here right now is more or less a shakedown hike. So I'm going to show you all some pictures of young old paths, maybe a young path or a new path, but back when I was a teenager and I was backpacking the Appalachian, used to do sections of it every year. So it's been a long time, folks. The sport of backpacking, if you want to call it a sport, I prefer to call it a passion, has changed a lot over the last several years. You know, I hadn't been backpacking since I was probably 17 years old. A little disclaimer, I am a retired infantryman, so I spent a lot of time with a rucksack on my back as a non-commissioned officer in both the 3rd Infantry Division and then later on with the 101st Airborne Division. I have spent a lot of time with a pack on my back out on patrols. So I'm no stranger to hiking with a pack on my back. Unfortunately, the military, you pack a heavy pack and you're going out on patrols. And with backpacking now, ultralight is the thing. So I'm far from ultralight. Right now, I'm probably ultra heavy. So my pack weight right now is 43 pounds. That's not my base weight. That's with everything. I've got a lot of extra food. I'm carrying 4 liters of water on me right now because I'm looking at gut hooks. It doesn't look like there's going to be a good, reliable source of water here that I can filter out. So I just carry in 4 liters of water with me. That way I can ensure that I've got plenty of water. It's still warm in Florida. I think it was 87 when I set out on the trail here tonight. It's about 1 p.m. So a little bit overcast. Looks like it could rain. No, rain is not in the forecast. So I'm walking past and I almost missed this. A little bit of a swamp there, some of the cypress. As I'm walking past, I see that. So I just backpacked the Richloam Trail last weekend, and not really much of an issue with mosquitoes. The trails were nice and dry. Trails look dry here, but there is some swampy area around the trails, and the mosquitoes are bad. So I'm gonna stop up here, peel off my pack and get some repellent and put it on, because the mosquitoes are already eating me up. Every time I stop, they begin to devour me. So all right, so I got sprayed here with the mosquito repellent, so hopefully that'll keep them away. At least keep them at bay a little bit. I saturated myself in it. They were covering me. So I'm going to go ahead and stop rattling on and hit the trail. I'm going southbound, and we've got maybe about 3 miles to camp right now. So if I see anything cool along the way, I'll be sure to get a shot of it. If not, I'll see you at camp. All right, and we're heading south. Following the yellow blazes along the south loop. And we're coming up to a split in the trail. So we've got Richloam Loop Trail south, straight ahead. North behind us says this is the Florida Trail. Talks about a little bit about the rules of the Florida Trail. And then we've got over here on this side, it shows the Florida Trail south. So here we're going to be not only yellow blazing, but orange blazing as well for the Florida Trail. And then the Florida Trail goes north at this point if you fork off to the left. So we're going to go this way. Oh, look at this. Look at how beautiful this is. This just opened up. Some thick ground coverage here, but it's all kind of opened up. And you can kind of see the pines. You got a pine forest on my right, and then on the left, there's a cypress swamp. So it's beautiful through here. Come up on a sinkhole there. And trail under a little bit of water. Looks like I'm going to get my feet just a little bit wet. It seems like it's inevitable at times in Florida. If you're out backpacking these trails, a lot of these trails run through the swampy areas and whatnot, and it's inevitable that you're going to get your feet wet. So the best thing to do is probably wear a pair of trail runners and not your Gore-Tex boots. Something that'll dry out quickly, just so you can turn around and get your feet wet again. And we'll open it up here to the swamp. The trail's getting ready to switch directions. But look at that, that's beautiful. It looks like the swamp is closed to vehicles. No doubt there's some folks that would try to get their swamp buggies out to this. Tear it all up. Back on a little bit of a fire road here. And it looks like we're going back into the pines. Nice and open and dry. So I've been making my way through this pine strand here for just a little bit now. It's beautiful. You know, it puts me in mind of Fort Benning, Georgia. And anybody that's been stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia and been out to the field, Red Diamond area and whatnot, you can attest that this is what it looks like. But it seems something vaguely familiar about it. So, and the further I get, I can smell some smoke. I've been smelling it for a while now, some wood smoke. I don't know if there's a prescribed burn going on a little further down, or whether I'm smelling the campfire from the camp already. But here, take a look at this. It's a nice light breeze blowing in, cooling me down. It started raining just a little bit ago, sprinkling lightly. Feels really good right now. All right, scenic low water river trail goes to my right. That is just to the west. It's going to run down along the river. And our Florida Trail and Richloam Firetower Loop Trail continues on south. All right, y'all, just hit South Campsite. It's our home for the night, and 290 feet down the trail, so it's starting to sprinkle just a little bit again, and hopefully we can get in there and get our camp set up for this evening and get dried up. All right, here we are at South Campsite, and just having a look around. You can see it looks like the camp has not been used for a little while. We do have a picnic table and a fire ring. So I'm gonna find me a flat spot here, clear off some twigs, and set up my tent. All right, y'all, I just got camp set up, and it's still sprinkling rain lightly, but not bad. I don't think it'll accumulate to anything, but I'm gonna go ahead and get a fire going while the wood is still dry enough that it'll burn. Hopefully get some of these mosquitoes out of here. I think the cloud followed me all the way here, and starting to buzz around me a little bit again. I might spray, get a fire going, get me a cup of coffee and maybe a little bite to eat, and edit this video and turn in for the night. So I'll see y'all in the morning.